Yo, what's going on, y'all? I'm Cavell Anderson, and we're back with another VeVe and Ecomi video. In this one, we're once again going to be going over more information that was shared throughout this interview with Dan. Because this is honestly the most bullish interview that I have seen in years, potentially. Definitely the most bullish video that I've seen in years. And yeah, we're gonna be going over one of the biggest things throughout this video because Dan is still speaking on what's to come. He's going to confirm something huge going on with negotiations and in discussion with licensors. This is not just some spatial or VR chat doing their own thing and getting these assets in there illegally, essentially. This is them negotiating with these companies saying, yo, we want to do this the right way. People are going to love this. You see what we have already done for you. Let's take it to the next level. This is them convincing these companies that this is the next level. And this is the key component people don't understand. This is why I've been asking, is the vision still the same? Because if it's still the same, okay, that question has been answered. That means you're really just trying to convince them, like the way that they were trying to convince people that NFTs was the next wave. Now it's time to convince them that, yo, doing this particular thing with NFTs is the next wave. And if VeVe can pull that off successfully, they'll be the first company with the actual permissions to do the things that everyone is saying, oh, this is why this is a VeVe killer. Like, how's it a VeVe killer if they can't even do what they're doing? Yeah, they can do it with the tech wise, but VeVe could do that shit with the tech wise too. They're just not going to, because then it'll actually ruin them truly having the ability to do it. So yeah, man, this is crazy. But let's jump into it, yo. Be sure to drop that thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Let's get it.
Mr. V, do you, I know you have a question on how like IPs and artists are building maybe potentially building their own cities and stuff.
Yeah, so do the IPs have any involvement, active involvement with the VeVeVerse, or is this exclusively on the user end?
So our goal is so every user will have their own personal home space or spaces, and we can all go visit each other's spaces, all of that. But outside of that, our goal is absolutely to have different worlds. And those worlds could be VeVe City, it could be Racetrack World. And I can't go into too much detail, but we are absolutely in discussions and in sort of the early planning stages of building out these other worlds.
So they're in discussion. They're in discussion of building out these worlds. If you saw Ready Player One, you saw the different types of worlds Ready Player One has. And this is why I'm glad that he confirmed that they're still going for Ready Player One. He's confirmed that this is the early stages, and what people are missing the big picture here. They said that this is the early stages. You want you want to know how early? It's so early that we're still excited that they can just even have all the IP together in one place. All this IP coming together under one world, they can do that. They have permission to do that, and they are doing that. That in itself is massive. That in itself is massive. Like, and I know you see that's the thing. People see this VR chat and see spatial and see these other things where people can't legally do that, but they're doing it, and they're like, oh, VeVe is behind. No, VeVe is the first to actually be able to do that with the blessings and the permissions from the licensors. They're the first. So for them to want to build out these worlds like Ready Player One, where they're going to have a racing world, VeVe City, and you're going to be able to do things, play games, have all these different experiences, people are judging what's going to be maybe a 10 plus year plan, and they're judging that right now. This is not the time to be judging it. I know everyone expected to get rich on the next bull run. I was always saying back then, it's a reason that I came into this project with a 10-year outlook. When I heard all the stuff that they said they wanted to accomplish, that was not a 10-year plan. This has never been done before in the history of the world. GTA isn't like that. GTA takes what, a decade to make each game or something like that? GTA takes an insane amount of time to make, and that's not even of the caliber of where the VeVeVerse is potentially trying to go. GTA isn't of the caliber of where the VeVeVerse is trying to go. And it takes that long just for GTA. So this is going to be something that goes on decades. The building of the VeVeVerse is not going to stop. But I think about 10 years is when we can maybe see the mark where it is starting to look like what people want it to be, and it's playable, it's entertaining enough. It's going to be the only officially licensed place where you can have the experience that VeVe is attempting to offer. And that is what is bullish about the project. You can be distracted and easily sold on some of this other stuff that don't have permission to do the shit that it's doing. And you can be happy right now thinking that VeVe is over with and it's dead. But this is what I've wanted to hear. They're getting permissions. They're doing they're doing it the right way. This is the stuff that I've wanted to hear. So, yeah.
From my perspective, you know, there's a lot of investment in time and money and energy into building out these worlds, because they're not easy to do, especially if you want to create a very cool sort of interactive experience.
And one thing that I will say is that VeVe's worlds are going to be different than a user could create. But that's what I love. That's what I love about it. The fact that you saw what some of the users have already created. I love the fact that they can, like, just a regular person can come into the VeVeVerse and create something like that. And still VeVe is going to have professionally designed worlds out here too, where it's more on par and at the quality and expectation level of something that you would expect to see from VeVe. I love that differentiation. And okay, yeah, we're going to still be doing our things, but even still, we're going to give you all the freedom to build as well. Because that's like Fortnite. Fortnite has things that they build and put together, but they also allows their community to build things for them. And ironically, some of the most successful things in Fortnite is community built things, because what you got to understand about community built things is that they're going to build the latest trend and stuff. So they can build a battle royale. They can build a game like Call of Duty. They can build an escape room. They can build all of these, anything that exists in gaming. Fortnite gives them the tools to recreate anything that already exists out there in the world. So you have the fans building this stuff for you, and you don't even have to build it yourself. That is what VeVe is giving that option, while they're still planning on building the things that they want to build and that's on their list that they need to check off and stuff like that. We still are going to have community made things that could be fun as well. And that's what I like.
So it's also, one of the key factors also is adoption. I don't want to start spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on building this epic thing, and then, hey, no one uses the VeVeVerse. So it is still a very early technology, and as a business, having that minimum viable product in various stages is really quite key. So I really want the VeVeVerse to grow quite organically. So we get users in there, we get their feedback, we understand what they want. Then there'll be an outcry about how, there's nowhere else I can go in VeVe. And when I start seeing that kind of thing is when, we'll start kind of going a little bit further down that path. But I mean,
does that not sound reasonable? They don't want to just start spending hundreds of thousands of dollars building out something that no one's going to use. We're in the middle of a bear market. Everyone's thinking that VeVe's a scam right now, which there's been a flat out scam never made since it's the one company out here doing what they're doing who actually has the permission to be doing what they're doing. This isn't the ecosystem for them to be going hard in metaverse and into metaverses, because that's not all that they're setting out to do. There's bread and butter is IP licenses, these connections and relationships that they have. So why would they be out here putting all their focus into it? And people are comparing VeVe to these companies that's out here just strictly focusing on building a good game and building a good metaverse. You can't compare VeVe to that. VeVe is going to be behind in terms of the quality of the metaverse for a little while, but they're ahead in terms of having this level of IP. So VeVe can easily push the quality bar to the level of some of these other projects, but those other projects can't easily obtain the IPs and permissions that VeVe has already. That's where the difference is, and this is why it's so bullish for VeVe.
I don't know about you guys, but I think it would be amazing to have all of these different themed worlds that you could go in. If you had a secret rare, you could enter this part of it, or you have a certain collectible even just to enter the world.
He's just confirmed that their goal, their mindset, what they want is utility. They want to give utility to these NFTs. Certain NFTs are going to give you utility to access certain worlds in the VeVeVerse. What are we like? What are they? we can argue if you're just like, oh, they haven't delivered it yet, I'm done. I'm giving up on VeVe. That's cool. But now we can no longer argue they aren't going for the same vision that they sold us. Well, in this way anyways. There's still some other things that we've yet to hear, but in a lot of ways, they're saying that they're working on the same thing still. And we are seeing some results of it. We're seeing that they actually are. So I feel like this was needed.
So it becomes, you know, these things become kind of like quite exclusive in the whole sort of overall metaverse.
So another thing that, you know, kind of circling back to, we've been talking a lot about the VeVeVerse at this point, but I would like to circle a little bit back to the VeVe platform as well. And
all right, so I'm not really interested in the Master Collectors program. I don't really care what's going on with it. So that being said, we're gonna end this video here. I think that this covered all the information that I cared about. We obviously are gonna have some more content coming soon on this because this is big. This is a lot of great bullish news that we're hearing throughout this interview. And I really don't want it to go over people's heads, what's being said and why it's important, why it's special, because we're seeing action put towards it, and it's not just the words. And I don't want y'all to miss the action being put towards it. So yeah, that being said, let me know what you all think in the comment sections down below. Be sure to drop that thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on notifications, and I will catch you all on the next one. Peace out, fam.